So, hey guys, welcome to YCB, aka your coding buddy, and thanks for clicking. So, today's topic is what are variables and identifiers. So, I will try to teach you in simpler terms so that it won't feel overwhelming or what are the different things you are talking about. So, I will try to make it very simple. So you just have to be I just wanted to say a few things before we jump into the topic, and that is first thing, you should be curious to learn, and it's not like what I am teaching you that's correct, or maybe you need to ask why something is happening. You have to be curious, then only you will be. It's not about programming. Wherever, for example, if you are reading book or maybe you are learning a topic, always ask why it is like that. Then only then you will get to know more things. And nowadays it's very easy. Nowadays it's pretty simple. You just have to chat gpt. Even I just research on chat gpt, and I'm learning new things when I have to teach something, because I never asked from that angle, like okay, why we are doing this, why not like that. So that's why. So always be curious. Whatever you are learning, it could be anything. So just be curious and try to find out, like, okay, for example, I just, once I'll finish the lecture, you have to go through the different things, like, okay, what are the variables, what are the identifier, why we are calling them, why are we calling them identifiers. Then you will get to know a lot of things and you will explore a lot of things. But at the starting, I said you, in the first lecture only, that you are at the beginner level. So first and most important thing is you have to build curiosity to learn, and for that you have to go with slow pace. You don't need to jump into the difficult topics, otherwise you will feel overwhelmed, or you will start like feeling okay, like demotivated, and you will say, okay, let's leave it. It's not a kind of thing that I will do. And but yeah, if you are, and first thing, curious, be curious, and start with slow speed and then start running. If you know about the athletes, what they do, they are not running fast at the starting. First they are starting normally and they are warming up their body, and once they are like about to finish, about to finish line, then they start running faster. Yeah, so that's what the motivation point of this thing is. Okay, so let's jump and let me start screen recording. I don't know, I'm learning how to speak to people. Okay, so I'll try my best. Let's see how it is going to be. Okay, I think it's started, right? Yeah. So topic is variables and identifiers. So before we jump into variables, we need to learn identifiers. So just think, like, what is identifier? First thing. Okay. So first I'll demystify what is identifier. If you know, identifier is more about identify, and it's the kind of word that is made up of identify. And identify means you need to uh, you need some sort of identifier to identify something. For example, let's take example. I copied few images here. If you see, there are few pictures of car names, or you can say number plates of car, especially in India. So you'll see there are some specific names to each car so that you can identify them, and this is called as identifier. And entity, okay, though it's a difficult topic for you, it will be difficult at starting to understand the entity, but I'll tell you in simpler terms. Entity means things that are, you will see around you. It could be like, forget about programming world, what are the entities there. Just think about uh, near to you. You will see pen, bottles, maybe table, and as a human, you, and animals, all are these entities. Okay, and every entity has a name. Maybe even you have a dog. Let's take example of dog. You have assigned him or her a name, right? Your pet has a name. For example, my pet name is Shadow. So he's very angry person, angry dog. Like, if you'll irritate him, he will bite you. So that's what. So that's how, like, you assign a name so that you can easily identify something, right? For example, for my name, something is my name. I mean, let's say X. My name is X and your name is Y. So you assigned a name. It's easy for you to identify someone uniquely, right? even not uniquely, you can say like the name X won't be of any other person. So forget, so that's what identifier means. Okay, so in programming world, we like here, if we talk about, it could be entities. Oh man, I need to change it to low. So let's talk about entities. Entities, it could be person, it could be animal, or it could be car, dog, and it also comes under animal, or it could be table, chair, all these, and you assign them a name. So name, right? And this name is called as identifier to you identify the object. We call, forget about object, I think I'm using unnecessary words here and to confuse you. So now we have identifier and we are going to use it for different things. For example, suppose how can I say, like in real world, if you see, for example, you have given a table and you say, okay, let's take another example. Maybe you have a room, a building, right, house, and there is a house number. So that is identifier of your house. Okay, house and house number. um, okay, so these are nothing but the identifiers. Identifiers means name given. I mean, I do not want to use the theory and all given to you can say entities, but you can use it if you wanted to learn it or remember it, but I hope you get it. So identifiers. And now comes the next thing, what you will assign them a name. If you notice, there are some rules or set of rules that we use to identify something, right? You can't say my dog name is 123, right? Most of the time you'll say, okay, it's a Tommy, it's a Bruno or Browno, I don't know, Bruno, I believe. Yeah, so we'll assign some names. So in the programming, in the programming also, there are set of rules how you will define identifier. So let's say take and I'll tell you why we are keeping them. And though it will be a little difficult for you to understand at this point, because we are covering basic level, and you will see, okay, I'll use something else. So let's take example of it. Okay, so identifiers, right? So we are at identifiers. I mean, I just wanted to cover it quickly. I don't want to create a 40 minutes lecture for it. So identifiers, okay. So now think about it. So there are set of rules, right? So first thing is, like, you can use alphabets A to Z. I mean, A to Z, here I'm referring A to Z. Okay, it's better, I'll use A to Z. Or you can use capital A to Z, capital. Okay, another thing, you can use numbers 0 to 9. I'll tell you what exactly rules are, when to use what. And another one, underscore. This is underscore, like okay. So these are the things that you can use. Okay, now you will say, okay, can I give name like 0 1 2 3 hello? No, it's not allowed, and reason I'll tell you. Okay, so first thing is rules. What are the rules? And okay, I don't want to write the theory. So any identifier that you are creating or you are assigning to someone or something or some entity, then it should be either underscore, it should start with, I don't know, want to write, man, either with underscore or these three things, A to Z or A to Z. So these are the things you can start with. Okay, I hope you get it. I mean, if you will consider, for example, so this is rule. After that, like, you can, once you can use 0 1 hello, you can use, it will work. Okay, but first thing is, first letter or first character of identifier should be underscore or A to Z. You can't use number, and I'll tell you reason behind it. So okay, let's take right and wrong. First I'll tell you right and wrong, some of the examples. So if you'll say, okay, can I take one hello, and let's say underscore hello underscore 123. Yeah, it's okay. But if you'll say, and you can experiment with it. Don't just rely on this. Okay, this is. Don't remember the things. Just question yourself. Like, okay, I'm just telling you only few examples, but you can explore more examples about it. Like, okay, this is possible. This is not possible. You will get to know more. It's a very basic thing that you are gonna use in your complete programming, and after a while you will forget it. Like what exactly you are doing. It will be in your brain. Okay, so don't worry much about it. It will be easy peasy for you. So let's say you kept 01 hello underscore hello, so it's not allowed. Simply reason is, okay, I'll tell you reason. Here you kept 0, so thing is, and that's why it can't start with numbers. And now I'll tell you why we kept only these words. Okay, why not other words? And other than that, there are some reserved word that is being used for special purpose in programming. You can't use them. Reserved word. Okay, maybe let's say class you can't use, int you can't use, float you can't use. These are things that there are so many, you can explore it. Okay, reserved word not allowed. Okay, so these are the things that you need to consider while defining an identifier. Okay, now let's talk about why we can't use them. Okay, program, computer program, how they are working. Ultimately, some Python is going to translate it to machine code. Okay, still they don't have like brain like human, or they don't have. When you are writing program, you are not telling it context. Okay, this is the thing. So there are set of rules that it is following, and accordingly it's converting it to machine code. Okay, but if suppose, let's take example of my name is name. Okay, let's take like this. uh, okay, let's take this is, uh, I'm just gonna little. Okay, so suppose I'm going and I'm asking someone, hello, what is your name? And okay, I asked someone. Now what you will think? You will think, okay, what is your name is sentence that is that. So the person who will be in front of me, he will say, okay, my name is this. Okay, now you think, okay, now you don't know, but you wanted to say you, like let's say, hello, Razi. Okay, I wanted to say, okay, let's take example here, hello Razi. Okay, you said like this. So suppose it is someone's name. Won't it be confusing someone's name whether you are asking for name or you are telling your name? Okay, suppose what is your name is the name of someone. That's what the confusion will be in programming as well, because you don't know what is your name or what is. If someone have to interpret based on the rules, he will think like, okay, you are asking a question. So that's why there are some rules based on which we can classify what portion of something that wanted to say. Okay, so that's why if you are going to use reserved words that are being interpreted with something else, for example, uh, let's take example of 2 plus 3. Okay, hello plus hi. Now in your term, what you will say? Most of the time, when you are saying plus, you will say, okay, that means you have to add those two things here. Forget about the thing. Let's take hello as a number, let's say 2 plus 3, and now you just decide like, okay, plus is not used for it, plus is used for numbers, for identifier. Okay, just imagine what will be the scenario. You won't be able to, a computer program won't be, Python interpreter won't be able to interpret it correctly. whether you are using it as a operator to operate on two things, or you are using it as an identifier. That's why there are set of rules that are being defined, where these are going to be considered as spatial characters. For example, at the rate has different meaning, plus has different meaning, minus has different meaning, divide has different meaning. All these things have different meaning and they are covering different things, so that's why you can't use them into identifier. Otherwise the confusion will be whether it is identifier or whether it is uh, operator, or for the time being you will think, okay, what is operator? So that's why I'm just saying there are some rules that are being defined, so that you can easily identify what is whether it's identifier or whether it's spatial, it has a spatial meaning. Okay, so that's pretty much about identifier. And now let's jump to the variables. Why we need variables? First think of it. And what is the use of them? I don't know where I kept it. So sorry. Okay, let's take about. Actually, I kept one example. The problem is, okay, let me cover it here only. If you notice, like let's take example of this scenario. We talked about the identifiers. Now now we need to discuss about variables. So what is the use of variables? Suppose like you just wanted to say something. All right, let's take example of that. Now we are talking about variables. So what are the variables? Okay, so imagine, okay, you have something. So variables are okay. In simple term, I'll say variables are labels that are assigned to data points, but that won't uh, teach you anything. It will be simply, okay, what is this? What are you telling? So let's take example of this supermart. Here, if you see, there are so many things here, and suppose you wanted to access into particular section. So what they are giving, they are assigning it a name, label. It's easy to find you. For example, here if you see you want to find the pasta and sauces, then you will go, you will enter here in this section and you will find. Suppose you want to what is this? You want to get something important pastas, imported pastas. I mean that are imported from different country. You will see into this section something other canned food you want, you will go here. Okay, so think of it like this. Now suppose you want to utilize something again and again. For example, let's take, what I'll do, 2 plus 3, I did somewhere or operated it. Now I want to do 2 into 3, right? Now I want to do 2 divided by 3. So you are, if you notice, and let's say 2 minus 3, and okay, so every time you will see you have to write these things again and again at each point, right? 2 and 3, and it's a pretty difficult for you to do that. So what you will do, if you have gone through math and all, then you will say, okay, a equals to 2, b equals to 3, and you will say a plus b, a minus b, a into b, and here I'm so sorry. So in like here you can say a into b. I'm using Python one. I mean programming one. So here we are talking about math. So let's forget about that. And a divide by b. Okay, so you will do this. So here, if you know, what are these a and b that you assigned? These are variables that we call them variables. Okay. Now what exactly it is in programming world? It's nothing but labels. Labels you are giving to a particular data entity, you can say. Okay, for example for 3, so that you can reutilize it at multiple places instead of just writing the or invoking the that particular data point again and again. For example, your parents has given you a particular name, and that is your the first thing, that is identifier. Identifier means it can identify you, but what exactly it is? It is a label given to you. Otherwise maybe there is another replica of you, or maybe your twin, and that is looking similar to you, but based on name you can identify them. Based on that variable So it's that. Now if we'll talk about, if we'll go deep dive into it, then it's like you have computer memory, right? And there are some, let's take this as a computer memory, and let's forget about computer memory. First let's discuss about in simpler term. So if you, I took the example of, let's take example of okay, let's say kitchen. Here you have what is this, vegetables, and here you have Maggie, and you kept the name like label. So this label helps you to identify that particular location easily, and you can get, or maybe let's take another example of medical shop. So if you are going to medical shop, you will see medical store basically. So you will see, okay, they are, for each medicine they are keeping a label. Okay, it's based on some people, some medical stores keeping based on formula, so they can easily identify, okay, this is the location and this is the data that I wanted to fetch. So it's easy to understand the naming that you are providing it, and you can access it again and again. So for the same purpose, you will go to that location and you will access that. So that's more about the variables. So you are giving variables, okay, and you are assigning a particular name to variables to hold the data. So it's more about like you have some entity entity we discussed, right? So entity, and you assigned a label, instead of like, okay, calling again and again that particular entity directly. Maybe suppose then you will say, okay, I need this one. Maybe you are going to a particular medical shop and you will say, okay, I need this sulfate oxide, this para, and all. I don't know the formula of this, but you told the chemical formula of it. Instead of that, you can say simply, or maybe let's take example, another example just came into my mind. Let's take example, if you have watched the Three-Idiot movie, you notice there, what is machine, and the person was telling complete theory about it. And what you can say, and if you talk about the Amir Khan Rancho, what he said, simply machine, he articulated it with the simple chip, okay, pant chip, like how it makes things easy. And the same way here, labels are nothing but you are assigning it to some data points, and that will help you to identify that particular thing easily, and you don't have to remember, or it's easy to remember. And another example I'll tell you, I have a lot of examples I'll tell you. If you know, computers can understand only IP address. They can talk in the form of, in like for example, I have one computer, you have one computer, or any electronic device, maybe mobile. Every mobile, when they are connecting or they are communicating with another device, they have IP address, and based on that, they are communicating with each other. But when you are saying google.com, it's not like you are connecting to google.com and it understands. Ultimately, what that does, the google.com will be converted into the particular IP address, and then they will start communication. To same, in the same way here also, like in the memory, when you are storing data, it's like you can re-access it. Okay, so let's say 2 you store somewhere in the memory, 3 you store somewhere in the memory. Now you wanted to access, so there will be some address a, like let's say uh, 0 ek, I mean, I just wanted to give some jargon word. Let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 0 1 2, these are the addresses, right? And now 5, let's say. Now you given a name a to this value and b to this value, now c to this value. When you will call, okay, I need a, then what it's going to do, okay, this person computer will do, okay, a means you are asking to provide me the value at location a. It's not the value, it's not the label directly, it's basically its point, its label that is given to that particular memory location. I'm just trying little to go into deep of this particular thing. I mean, yeah. So here these are basically in the memory. Everything is going to store in the RAM. Basically, if talk specifically. And now, when you wanted to perform operation, when the computer is gonna perform operation, it will say, okay, A plus B. You asked me. So what is the value of A? The real value of A. You assigned something like A equals to 2. And let's forget about, man, just forget about this operator. You just said like, okay, A is this and B is 3. Okay. So 3 and you assigned. So what it will do, it will store in the memory, it will be stored in the memory. And B is nothing but, A and B are nothing but the labels given to this location, are pointing to this location. When you will call A plus B, it's not like it's calling these numbers to it's going to fetch this value, it's going to fetch this value. Compiler or maybe your interpreter will do, or your computer will do, to be precise, not compiler or interpreter will do it. Okay, it's just middleman between you, between you, I mean your computer or your program and the machine hardware. Okay, so here you will see, okay, 2 plus 3. And another question you can do, like you can do different operation on it. You don't have to specify, or you don't have to load the data again and again. I mean, load the data in the sense like you don't need to specify. So that's why variables makes your life easy. You hold something into particular label, and then you are performing the operations. So I think I made it, I explained it in a better way, but I know. And now labels. Okay, so we talked about labels. So how can we give the names? Okay, so there are different styles. We already talked about the identifier, but okay. So first thing, I think I haven't discussed yet about it. Python. How, what kind of language it is? If you say how you can write the, suppose you are writing like your variable name Rajesh, Rajesh Mashale, and I kept Rajesh. Okay, if you notice, here I kept capital R, here I kept small r. So will it, Python will treat them same? Or suppose I assigned here 5 and here it assigned it 6. Okay, will it consider the both the same? Answer is, think about it, no. I mean it's no, because peop, if you know, if you heard case sensitive, what is means of case sensitive? Means if you will lodge a case against it, it will be very sensitive to it. Okay, so sorry, I'm just trying to be little fun. Okay, so that means it will treat this value and this value different. So whether you are using case means here capital or lower, will be different. Okay, that's all about it. I don't think you need to much worry about it, because when you are defining two identifiers, and if you use capital A, capital B or something, and in another one you are using small, then it will be treated different, and it will consider two different labels for them. Okay, so that's the thing about case sensitive. So Python is a case sensitive language. Python is a case sensitive language. And just enjoy it, don't take it a burden. You will enjoy it like a lot of things. For example, I just, even for me it's a little difficult, not difficult, I like it. I like to talk in front of camera, that's why I'm enjoying it and laughing it. And if you will feel it, take it as a burden, and I'll always be curious. Still I'm not that kind of curious person, but I'm just trying to build curiosity, because it's very important. If you'll start, if you'll curiosity is the, I won't say mother of inventions. That is, people used to say necessity is the mother of. Oh, it's 11 o'clock, man. I have to go off this. I just started camera and recording it. So okay, so Python is a case sensitive language, so that's why. And now let's discuss about one more thing. That is, what are the ways, or there are some design patterns how you are going to consider them while you are defining identifiers. Okay, or while you are defining variables and some. So we discussed about variables, right? So there are few cases. I'll first discuss a few different types of design types, you can say. Okay, so identifier design patterns. Okay, let's think about it. Okay, so if you know, like you can write it. Suppose I'm like writing like my name as a variable. So this is one way, right? You kept underscore between. Another way is like you kept like my name, right? This is another way. You haven't kept any underscore, but still you are able to identify. And another one way is you kept like this my name, or maybe you kept it like my name. So these are, if you see, these are different things. So in simpler terms, when you are keeping everything is small in a small letter, first thing notice small letters, and you are separating. I'm so sorry. Actually, my voice is just a little distorted. I don't know. I started drinking warm water, but still, it's not working. So maybe I need to do something else. And maybe I'll drink little salt water, and they'll see. So here, if you see, everything is small letter, but we are it's separated by words. Maybe if you want to give like a person's name, then you have kept everything in an underscore, so like you can identify it's my name. Okay, so this is called as snake case. And in Python, whatever the variables we are defining, that we use variables or functions, we use a snake case. Okay, this is where every word will start with capital letter. You will call it. Okay, this is Pascal case, and this is camel case. Okay, so what we are using in Python, okay, that, and this is like this start with underscore, so we just forget it. Most of the things are around this one, this one, this one. We'll talk about it later. I think now if I'll talk it about it, you won't get it perfect. So just for snake case, Pascal case, which one we are using? So we are using in Python. There is a standards. You can say they are releasing a standard. So pip it there is, and as per the pip it, I forgot the name of pip. Okay, so they are saying like use camel case and snake case. So for variables, if you see, if you read the Python code, then you will find okay snake case. And if you see Pascal case, this is mostly used in Java and all. JavaScript. I do not want to read it. I mean, camel case, you will use it somewhere like in JavaScript, and it is also used in Python. But what for classes? For classes. Okay, so that's about pretty much about it. And I think yeah. So whatever the variables that we are going to design or to define, we are going to use snake case, and where everything will be in under small letters, and it will be separated by if you want to write something like you can write like my name, but so for someone else it will be hard to read, so you will say okay my underscore name. Yeah, that's all. That's pretty much about this video. Thank you so much. If you like the video, like it, and if you don't like, just hit dislike button, so I'll make sure like next time I'll make it better. I'll come up with more confidence, and I'll try my best to teach you. Okay, but yeah, your feedback is important for me because that will help me to become. I mean, so for example, if we are talking about something like whenever you are getting feedbacks from people, and if you are taking it in a constructive way, then you are becoming better version of yourself. So it's always helpful if you will give your feedbacks, and for me it will be helpful. Okay, thank you so much, and bye bye, and keep practicing and learning new things, and it's very important. So bye bye.